Hi, my name is T.R. Witcher. My piece is called The Indian Cure. It's part of a collaboration with the artist Catherine Borg. Part 1. I'm going for the Indian Cure. I read it in an article. It means that I'm going to become an Indian, more or less. That's my plan. I'm going back to 1491, man. I'm stripping down to a spiritual nakedness, pre-industrial, indigenous. I'm ditching my TV. I'm unplugging. I'm going to sink my hands into the threads of some culture that goes back 1,000 years, or that feels like it goes back 1,000 years, even if I have to make the culture myself. A being in nature, unmediated, free. This, I tell you, will save my soul. I'm serious. Sounds like a cliche. That's our dilemma. The cliches are true but overused, so we seek for other ways to express what's true and we come up short. I'm restless, I'd say, or bored. I'm caught in the middle of a tepid, grindless grind, surrounded by blandly smiling faces that ask me to pretend to be happy, the smells of social etiquette grown stale. I was going to make some grandiose commentary about Thoreau or Walden or walking west, the dream of long open roads, wherein I would not merely say that the journey counts more than the destination, but actually live the condition. But let's go right to the source, because Thoreau was just taking the Indian cure too. The whole culture has been trying to take the Indian cure for 200 years. I suppose one must destroy the Indians before one understands the remedy for what ails us. In the absence of experience, I can only try to reanimate words gone stale. So it's to experience I now turn. Of course, I'm already a kind of nomad. I move 2,000 miles from west to east or back again. The rest of the country is an abstraction. The spaces between them are an abstraction. Even space here is an abstraction. Outside my windows, the foreclosure signs frown from every street, but they do not speak. The weeds run riot across the gravel landscaping. The pieces of gravel spill into the street. The broken drip irrigation shoots an arc of water 5 feet high, our modern-day Hooverville, these tightly packed, disposable neighborhoods running out at the edge. Inside, the boxes are in the hallway, neatly stacked. They're migrating into the kitchen. It's a great purge of old books and pots and pans, clothes that no longer fit, papers and love letters, and photographs that unwind through my past. Items are packed and unpacked, thrown away, reclaimed, reorganized. The boxes themselves stack or unstack themselves in the hallway, a little time-lapse skyline. They have a life of their own. Soon they'll be gone, pieces in someone else's life, family, friends, charity, the landfill. It is romantic to think part of me will be left behind with them, but if it's not true? What comes with me is down to 3 bags. It's not enough. Can I get it all down to what I can carry on my back, to 1 bag, to nothing? That would be something. Part 2. We are way up in some landscape or other, some vast open space where the sky, a kind of Atlantic ocean blue, unfurls above our heads in a long, luxuriant arc. The desert is dotted with mountain ranges at every scale, in more translucent shades of purple. We can see in all directions for 100 miles and understand, bodily, the scale of us and of all that we see. For a long time we are entirely alone. The interstate was once a silver thread just visible on the horizon, but it's gone too. We pass through a stand of Joshua trees. Their thick and misshapen arms create a quilted geometry of shadows on the ground. Don't say anything. We resist the temptation to talk about anything. It can't go on because there's a lot to say. As soon as we come to the wilderness, or even just the edge of the wilderness, a taste of the wilderness, one's idea of the wilderness, we're immediately thinking, do we simply live in these open spaces or do we reflect upon them? The questions are impossible to ignore, but they are the problem. They separate us from the place we came from, and that's good, but they also separate us from the place we wish to enter. We're trying so hard to find our way. Our silence can't hold out indefinitely. There's this couple from TV. They're young and good-looking. They're natural, but not that natural. Their hip, tailored threads, their cool music, their satisfied smiles lets you in on the extent of the fine calibration of their naturalness. They have the means to get away. They drive in a new SUV into the mountains, and the man has a little army tent set up and wine and cheese or food, and they're about to have a private marriage proposal or something, some perfect scrapbook memory, and then it rains and it wrecks the tent and the meal, and they hurry back to the car, laughing all the way. It's a perfect dream. It's exquisite, the technology that promises to aid our escape, machines that kill the machine. Let's envision a grander structure than theirs, like something the Aztecs built. Imagine it. We can handcraft something ancient. We can make our own ruin and then rehabilitate it. We can pretend it came from the ground itself. It'll look fantastic in the sun-blasted Mojave. like it was always there. It will be a beacon, a permanent feature. This is what the desert does. It turns every object into an artifact, including us. It reminds us that everything here made by human beings is pregnant with impermanence. We know this. It's a cliché. Yet everything we do seems to suggest we do not know this. I want to know this at the level of my bones, at the molecular level. At the top of a crest inlaid with precariously angled rocks, well above the Joshua trees, there's a view down to the other side. It's a festival. There are wheels and rides and lots of people, and contented, harmonious voices hum up toward us. There are hundreds of tents, more, 1,000 tents. They are cone-shaped and colorful. They are made with space-age nylons, and they come in every color and size. We remain silent and strain to find an order in them, a sense of a grid of streets, a hierarchy of uses, a society way out here in the middle of nowhere. The festival will come and go, but this is where the journey always leads, not to solitude, but to fellowship. Solitude is a story heard by no one. Up here in the mountains, in the desert, among the trees, along the streams, in the winter and the spring, the summer and the fall, and the somnolent light of the early day and the melancholic light of the end of the day, it's not that wherever you go, there you are. It's that we carry the city with us always.